Hey, it's Cotton Ball here. I am changing this around. Hi, it's Cotton Ball here. I'm just going to turn this down for a second. It's Cotton Ball here, and I'm going to be doing, these are my notes. I'm going to be doing a video on my academic career in college. I'm a college student. I'm going to be a sophomore this year, and just giving some advice, my story. If yours is similar, then you're like, oh my god, we have similar stories, yay, yay. That's always good to find common ground among people, especially on YouTube. There's so many opinions and beliefs and just everything. There's so many different, options people have. It's nice to know that out there somebody has the same college career, college lifestyle that you do. So yeah, this is going to be just a video. It's probably going to be really long, and it's going to be just my college career. So let's get started. I'm a college sophomore, and I go to an HBCU. An HBCU, if you do not know, is historically black college university. So I live in the States, obviously, unless there's, HBCUs, globally, but it's traditionally an American university that's historically been for African Americans. So I'll go there. When I got there, I was a business major. And that's only because I had a business idea. You know how everybody has a business idea. Oh, I can do that. Why not, why can't I do that? And I'll make a business out of it. Well, when I got there, I found out pretty quickly, like the first week, that there was going to be a lot of time taken out of my schedule for seminars, for projects that I didn't want to really do. So I actually got out like the first week. First week, I basically changed my major, and I was undecided for a little bit. Being a business major was okay. As far as like the first week, it was a breeze, of course. The first week, you're not really doing anything. But I knew that seminars, I would have to dress up, I'd have to speak, I'd go to conventions, things like that. And I realized business was actually going to be quite hard for me, as far as the math, as far as, the classes I was going to take. And I also knew that it was going to be boring. To me, it's boring. It's a snooze fest. I just don't, to be honest, to be frank, I don't care about, this business plan and how you've made it from rags to riches. I'm just not that person. So, I went to liberal arts, which I should have done the first time anyway, because two subjects I've always been best at were English and history. And, I'll get more into that. Which one did I choose? Cliff? It's gonna be a cliffhanger, guys. Anyway, so I did that. The first week I got out and went to liberal arts. And I was kind of mulling around a little bit. And I decided, well, I like fashion. So, and I do. I like Marie Claire. I like reading Vogue a little bit. And, I had drawn some things, I was going to be this free spirit with artistic, artistic flair, and I was going to be in the cover of X, Y, and Z magazines, and, all of that, be the new talent. Until I realized I can't sew. I really don't have any drawing skills. I have no perception of color, depth, saturation. I have no perception of any of those things. I don't even know what fabrics. The only fabric I know is cotton, and I know that it's rough. That's all I know. Oh, and I know silk is like that nice, smooth material. Yeah, okay, whatever. It takes a lot more than what commercials show you, It's not the model walking down to your creation. It's you up there at the sewing machine, and it's midnight, and this project is due at 9 a.m. It's like Project Runway. For real. The only thing is, when the cameras are rolling, you're still on. So I never actually really declared that as a major, but I was really considering. I went to the lady in the department. I talked to her. I had planned out my whole career, and then I even told a history teacher that, and he's gonna be surprised when I come back for more classes. And it was just like, okay. I love fashion, woo, but I never declared it as a major. And it was always something in the back of my mind that I knew fashion wasn't it at all. But, you know, you live and you learn. I never declared it, so, I mean, it doesn't count on my record. Next, I was considering English. I was like, English, what am I going to do with that? And then, I'm going to be a writer, and people would scoff at, how, humanities and liberal arts majors, they always ask you, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to teach? That's the only career everyone knows. The only career, I swear to goodness, the only career everyone knows for like a poli-sci major, for English or history, for religious studies, although actually if you're going to be a preacher, for religious study, but any like liberal arts, humanities, they always ask you, are you going to be a teacher? And that is just not true. You can be basically in any field you want. Any field you want. I mean, you're going to take extra schooling, of course. You can't be an English major and then, think you're magically going to become a surgeon. No, but I'm saying, it's a lot more to it. But a lot of the skills that you learn and, like English and history and stuff like that really do carry over to real life. So, enough of that. Enough of that bitterness from people always laughing at me for what I want to do as a major. So, I was in class in history, and the guy, he was talking about Taoism and the way and all that stuff. And I was like, I know what my way is. I know what it is. It's definitely elementary education. Oh, yes, I want to be a teacher. And I do want to be a teacher. I've just learned now that I don't want to be a teacher after I graduate. I actually want to do something else. So I signed up like that week for elementary education, which is fun. Out of all my classes, elementary education, they were the better classes. Yeah, my teachers were kind of crazy, but they were kind of fun. They were fun too. I still have the book. Do I have the book? I don't know if I have the book. Anyway, I like those classes. It helps you lay the foundation of the different styles of teaching, the different movements have been in teaching, like a Montessori school, a private school versus public school, a Catholic school, a religious school, things like that. The different funding that they get, certain schools, they actually are exempt from, people butting in what they want their curriculum to be because they're not funded by certain agencies and things like that. So I liked education and, putting it together and teaching your kids how to do this and methods that get them really involved and really engaged, things like that. I liked that. I did like elementary education. Like the math class I had was so fun to me. Like it made me want to like do the history of mathematics, even though I'm not like a mathematically, like I'm not really inclined to go out and read stuff on sine and cosine and stuff like that. But it made me go out. I really like those courses. But what happened was, I'm kidding. What happened was that elementary education, you're kind of stuck. If you want to teach middle school, high school, college, university level, well, how are you going to do that? You're in elementary ed. So, I kind of figured, well, why be an elementary education major if when I get older and I want to advance my career and kind of move up, I have to get additional degrees. I mean, I'm getting additional degrees after this one, but it kind of seems fruitless. Well, it kind of is like futile because I'm going to be getting another degree. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I kind of went back and forth between English and history, and I ultimately chose history. Even though I like English, I do kind of like history a lot more. Um, I kind of like, not Renaissance, but kind of like the Regency period. I kind of like the monarchy. I like royal. I like looking at royal families, genealogy. I like looking at that. As an African American, I think most people find it weird that I don't want to do African American history or African history. It's just not my thing. But I am interested in like the relationship of languages and peoples. Just people kind of in general, but really my area, because I read so many like Harlequin romance and things like that. I've really fallen in love with Regency era and European monarchy, particularly British. So I ultimately chose history. It just gives me a greater world to explore, and since people call me a feminist, I don't know why they call me that. I'm going to do gender sexuality studies, probably just women gender sexuality studies for grad school, and I've actually done that. Gone and started looking at schools and stuff like that. I like to plan really early, so I plan on doing that. So this has been kind of my academic career as far as my major and what I'm going to do and what I anticipate in the future. Okay? So this is going to be part 1, and I'll be coming with part 2 soon. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye.